the next movie that I saw that wasn't as bad as Apartment 7A, but also wasn't good either. You guys are going to actively watch me type this in. Actually, no, I'm just going to say it instead. Was the movie The Watchers. We're going to talk about that next. So, The Watchers. The Watchers came out, I think it was in like August, July or August. It was directed by Ishana Shyamalan, who is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. Now, ladies and germs, I don't know how many times I've voiced my opinion about M. Night Shyamalan. I'm not a fan. But I do not include his offspring in that because I don't know them. You know, everyone gets a fair chance. I didn't get a chance to see this movie in theaters when it came out. I saw it once it came on Max. I had an opportunity to watch it. And yeah. So let me start out saying well, like, don't start. For those of you that don't know, Will at Quiverful Productions he is an M. Night Shyamalan fan. Okay, that he loves him. He also graced us with his presence, Robert and I, on an episode of the podcast, which will be coming out either at the end of this month or the beginning of December, where we talked about M. Night Shyamalan and his entire filmography in detail. So stay tuned for that video. But he is a fan of his, and now he's saying in the chat, don't start, me and him are on hiatus. I think that they're on hiatus because, if I recall correctly, Will here saw Trap, and he was very upset at that movie. So now they beefing right now. But yeah. But this isn't about him. This is about The Watchers, which was done by his daughter, produced by him, but done by his daughter. Now, The Watchers is actually based on a book. I did not read the book. If any of you out there have read the book, please let me know. But it's essentially kind of like folklore-esque. I think it takes place in like either the Irish or the Scottish countryside. One of the two. Oh, okay. Let's just read the synopsis. The synopsis here says, a young artist who's played by Dakota Fanning, who I love. I love Dakota Fanning. She's been acting since a young age, and she's always killing it. A young artist gets stranded in an extensive, immaculate forest in Western Ireland, where, after finding shelter, she becomes trapped alongside three strangers stalked by mysterious creatures. Now, buddy. All right. The chat is saying, wow, Faye, M. Night Shyamalan has fans. He does. I'm not one of them, but he has them. Melissa said she's a chip off the old block for sure. She missed the mark entirely. We're going to get into that because I looked at the trailer for this. I was like, it wasn't anything to write home about. I like Dakota Fanning. I'm always down for seeing her, act in something. And Georgina Campbell, who was also in the movie, because I have up the cast, I believe you guys can see it. She was in Barbarian. Her and her choices in Barbarian. Once again, I did a reaction video to that. If you didn't see it, definitely check it out on the channel. So I was like, okay, those are two people that I like. The cast pretty much was these four people. It was pretty much Dakota Fanning playing Mina, Georgina Campbell playing Clara, Alwyn Ferrer. I feel like I just butchered this woman's name. I'm so sorry. I feel like this is an Irish name. And Irish names are very difficult to pronounce. I feel like I just butchered it once again. I'm very sorry. But she played Madeline, and Oliver Finnegan played Daniel. It was pretty much just these four people throughout the entire movie. So Pretty much very small cast, and the setting was entirely inside this compound for the most of the movie in a forest. Okay? Now, they go in the forest. Okay? You know what? I'm just gonna I wasn't gonna spoil this movie, but you know what? We're gonna there's spoilers for the watchers, because I have some things to say. Okay, ring bell, spoilers. Okay, so first of all, the movie literally starts with her, at a bar. She's pretending to be someone else to get dates. Okay. You kind of find out that she has these visions, whatever her sister calls her. You find out that their mother passed away. Okay. She works in a pet shop, and her boss asks her to transport this parrot from point A to point B. The path to transport this parrot is through the Irish countryside, okay, through some winding forest, and she's now going on dirt roads. First of all, no. What? Already? What? This is a red flag already. You're going through dirt roads. Now, once again, this is based off of a book. If this happened in the book, I don't know, but she's going through some dirt roads. She ends up in this forest. Her car dies because the forest in and of itself is a dead zone. Car dies, cell phone dies. She gets out of the car, and instead of walking back down the road to which she came, she decides to venture further into the forest. She hears some things, sees some things. She runs. She finds the compound. She goes inside the compound. And there's these 3 other people that are just like, oh my God, there's craziness going on outside. They're creatures. And we have to perform for them every night. The movie goes on like this. They're in the compound. You don't really know what the creatures are. You can't see them. Everything is very shadowy. Now, here's the thing. First of all, the cinematography of this movie was terrible. It was not good, because the movie was so dark. Now, I don't know what the deal is in Hollywood recently, where they keep making movies increasingly dark to the point where you can't even see what's going on. Back in the day, they would make things, dark and shadowy to hide bad visual effects. If they didn't have a budget to pull things off, you'd shroud it in darkness and you'd put it in the shadows and things like that. So I don't know if that was the case with this movie, where they were trying to keep the creature secret or keep things secret. But I couldn't see shit. I'm sorry, y'all. I could not see a damn thing in that movie. And at first, when I first started watching the movie, it was kind of sunset, and I was maybe it's the glare on my television, maybe something's wrong. So I waited until it was pitch dark to watch that movie, and I still couldn't see nothing. I don't the movie was so dark. So whatever mystery there could have been behind the creatures or any type of suspense or something, blind. I couldn't see. It was dark. Shrouded in darkness. And the chat says, I know I butchered her name. I'm so sorry. Listen, if anyone knows how to pronounce her name, it's not me. I'm so sorry. But, okay, Will said he'll be right back. Okay, the cinematography was disrespectful, yes. Appanevi, you are correct. The cinematography was disrespectful. And Appanevi also said cinematography has been taking a backseat for a few decades. You are correct. That is absolutely right. The cinematography has been taking a hit. And once again, I don't know if that was like a creative choice. I don't know if they didn't have the budget to make things shine, but the creatures were CGI. Yes, Ebony CGI everything. Absolutely. The creatures were CGI, which obviously, fine, you're going to do CGI creatures, but you hiding them in the shadows so that we're confused about what's going on isn't helping the appeal. It's just making me think that either you don't really know how to introduce them to the plot correctly, or you're hiding bad creature design. So the movie goes on, and the character of Daniel is kind of on the fence about whether or not the character of Madeline is telling the truth about these creatures being outside, because he's never seen them. And she's telling them like, hey, don't venture off. Don't go into these burrows. You know, always make sure you come back by dark, whatever. And Dakota Fanning's character, Mina, is just like, you know what, I'm going to adventure. So she goes down into this hole and she finds this bike. The creatures find out. They start spazzing and they try to break into this compound. And in the process of them breaking into this compound, they mysteriously find underneath this rug this bunker. Listen to me. These characters. Okay. Oh, snap. It's the fact that my mom, I know I'm live right now. My mom is definitely calling me. I'm going to answer the phone. Hi, Mom.
Hi, are you okay?
I'm live, and you're on my live right now because I answered the phone.
What the heck? I've been checking and checking and checking. Nothing is showing anything.
Well, I don't know, Mom.
When did you go back live?
I've been live for like
Are you
45
kidding me?
minutes.
I've been putting comments and I even said, oh, hi. Nobody said
There's a
anything.
live chat going on. Everyone can hear you right now.
Oh my God. Bye. Love you.
I love you more.
Oh my God. Bye. Bye. Bye, honey. Hi.
It's important to talk to your mom at all times. So, as I was saying, apparently, according to the character of Madeline and Daniel and Clara, they've been in this bunker for about like months. They've been in there for months. And at no point did they decide to check under the furniture to see if there was another way out. You didn't look under a rug. You didn't pull a chair. You didn't do anything. Either that's poor writing or that's poor writing. So they get down into this bunker and they find information about the person that built the bunker that was trying to do this study, because in the area there used to be fairies. The creatures are fairies. That's what they find out. I can't say spoiler alert because I already said it. Okay. Yes, Melissa, you always have to answer when your mom calls, because if you don't, there's trouble. But they basically find out that these things are fairies, and that the guy who built the bunker, essentially, you know, his wife had passed, and a long time ago, fairies and humans used to coexist happily, or they were fine. They even used to, you know, like coexist to the point where they would procreate, okay? And there were like half breeds. And then all of a sudden, you know, the humans were just like, nah, chill. And they started cutting the fairies' wings. And then, you know, things weren't going so good anymore. And so the fairies were just like, absolutely not. We're gonna kill them. We're gonna kill the humans. Okay. So the guy is trying to see if he can reestablish some type of relationship with the fairies. And he captures one of them and basically trains this fairy to essentially be his wife. And you find out, spoiler alert, that, or I guess twist alert, I don't know, spoiler alert, twist alert, because there was a twist. And I don't know if this twist was in the book. Once again, I don't know. It could have been. I don't know if it was in the book. I don't know if it was just regulated, to the movie. But you basically find out that the woman, Madeline, is the half-breed fairy, and that was his wife. You don't know that until they escape. In the bunker, they find information where, the fairies can't cross water. Also, once the fairies capture you, they basically can replicate you. Like, they've been watching, the whole point of the Watchers. Okay. The whole point, wait, what? I'm sorry. I had to look into the chat for a second. And Apanivi said, I'm not a writer per se. And Faye says, neither is she. Wow, shots fired. Apanivi, but that should be a requirement for making a movie, right? You would think, but in the year of our Lord 2024, with Chat, GTP, and other AI writing software, no. Being a writer is not a requirement for making a movie any longer. It's not, unfortunately. So, and Will says, of course he does training the Pokemon for... What? I'm going to go out on a limb here, Will, and say that you might be writing in the wrong chat, buddy. Because I don't know what the Pokemon or the rest of your message has to do with this movie. But anyway, apparently the fairies have been, the Watchers set up this, whole thing so that they could basically learn the way the humans interact so that they could duplicate them perfectly. Okay? So they find out that they can't cross the water. They escape into the woods during the daytime because the fairies don't come out in the daytime. They get to a boat. In the process, the character of Daniel, he gets, offed because he hears the voice of someone that's dead. Okay? He gets caught up. He gets murdered. It's over for him. So only Mina, Sierra, and Madeline make it to the boat. They escape. Woo! They get back to humanity. Woo! And they're like, we're alive. It's cool. So Mina, Dakota Fanning's character, decides to go back to the university of the professor that was running the experiment to, return some paperwork or whatever, because that was there or something like that. And for some reason, even though it's been, I don't know, I think they said like years since this man went missing at this prestigious university, his office was kept exactly the same. No one took his office over. All of his stuff is still there, which would never happen. That just wouldn't happen. Even if the professor is tenured, if they don't hear from you for a couple years, they're putting your stuff in a box and they're clearing your office out. So she goes to his office, and that's when she sees a picture of the guy and his wife, and she realizes that it's a picture of Madeline. So, oh my gosh, wait, but Madeline died. Oh no. Oh my god, she's a fairy. No. Twist. It's a twist, guys. It's a twist. Do you feel like it was a good twist? That she was the fairy? Did you have any idea that she might have been the fairy? Did you feel like there was going to be a twist in this movie? It's not M. Night Shyamalan. It's his daughter. So there wasn't a guarantee that there'd be a twist, but I tell you what, it's still there. So Dakota Fanning's character goes, she runs. She's like, I have to tell Sierra that Madeline is really a fairy. And she goes there, and Madeline, fairy Madeline, is pretending to be Sierra. She's just like, I'm going to kill you because you can't know our secrets and whatever, yeah. And then she's like, no, wait, you're human. You've been with humans for years. Don't do this. Be human again. Be with us. And she's like, I will. You're right. I'm gonna be human. I'm gonna live my life. And then the movie ends. And Mina reunites with her sister, who you find out is a twin. She's a twin sister. And that's it. That's the whole movie. So, for those of you that have seen it, I don't know how many of you have seen it. Let me know in the chat if you have. How did you feel about this movie? Because I just was underwhelmed. See, whereas Apartment 7A, I felt like it was an unnecessary prequel. With this, I was underwhelmed because I felt like it's one thing if you are, I mean, let's not pretend that nepotism doesn't run rampant in Hollywood. It always has. This isn't a new concept, okay? But obviously, this is her first feature film. She has directed other things before. She directed episodes of her father's show, the Apple TV Plus show, Changeling? No. He has a show on Apple TV Plus. So she directed a couple episodes of that show. She also directed some music videos for her sister, the sister being the music artist that was in Trap. So hold on for that. In the chat, we have Strive for More. My bad. Thanks for picking up. Yes, that's my mom, y'all. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Hashtag embarrassed. It's okay. I'm going to read your chat out loud. They already heard you. No trouble. Just so very happy you're on. I have a lot to catch up. Hi, yeah. You missed one movie review of Apartment 7A. So you didn't miss much. And now we're talking about The Watchers, which was directed by Ishana Shyamalan. So, yeah. Will says he trained the fairy to be his wife. Yes, he did. Is that what you were trying to say? Pokemon? Man, you're spelling. I don't know. Something going on there, Will. I don't know what's going on, my brother. But, yeah. That took a turn. Appanevy, you are right. It did take a turn. And you should feel judged. May says, I just feel you. Me too. Faye, lemon and coke is a twin series. So you're so right. It was a trap. Faye says, I am impressed that he managed to produce an offspring who is equally as talented as him. Wow. Shots fired. That is messed up. My thing is, like, to go back to, like, this is obviously M. Night Shyamalan's her father. I watched some interviews with her because I'm always interested as a filmmaker myself and a writer to understand, you know, what that writer filmmaker's mindset was when they were going into the film, you know, because I'm not biased. I'm not just going to be like, oh, that's his daughter. No, I'm interested to see. I was hoping that she would do something different from her father, because it's one thing to be like inspired by someone that you've watched and how you've learned the craft, but you don't have to like emulate them. But I feel like unfortunately she kind of did. And I was really hoping that she would, you know, step outside of the whole twist thing and like do something completely different. As the daughter of a filmmaker, I was a filmmaker that's known for just one thing. And I was hoping that she'd step out of that shadow. And unfortunately, she kind of like stepped into it. So I don't know if she has anything coming up. Actually, let's see. Let's see if she has anything coming up on her docket. Servant is the name of the show. I said Changeling. I was thinking of a very good old ghost movie. She was a director of a couple episodes of Servant. So let's see if she has anything coming up. We shall see. No. That's it. She directed 6 episodes of Servant, and she directed The Watchers. I don't see anything upcoming that she might possibly be working on. Yeah, so Appanevy asks, is this the daughter that sings? Okay, so no. So the daughter, he has all daughters. M. Night Shyamalan has all daughters. He has 3 daughters, okay? The eldest daughter, I believe, is the daughter who sings, who was in Trap. That's his eldest daughter, even though she is very tiny looking. She is the eldest. She is a singer, an R&B singer. She also like plays piano and a couple other instruments, I believe. So she is the musicality part of the family. She's also done, I believe, soundtrack work for some of his other movies and shows. Ishana Shyamalan is director. So, and he has another daughter, the youngest daughter. She's, I think she's under the age of 18 or maybe just turned 18 or something like that. So she's not in the industry whatsoever, but his other two daughters are. So I hope that clarifies things. So yeah. So Melissa says, I saw this movie last night. To be honest, she was underwhelming. Which is worse? Wow. Faye says, do you want to see something upcoming from her? Well, the thing is, I want to see something different. I wish that this wasn't her first attempt because it kind of feels like something that her dad would do. And I was really kind of hoping that she would not do something similar to her father. And we're going to get into another person whose first film as a Nepo baby went a little bit better. But I feel like this wasn't really, to me, a good first outing. Like, it wasn't bad, but to go with what? Who said it was? Melissa. Melissa said it was underwhelming, and I agree. I felt like it was just not the best, representation. But maybe if she, once again, if you as a director and a writer enjoyed the project that you put out and you're happy with it, then guess what? That's it. Because you're trying to get the stuff that's out of your head onto the screen or onto the paper. So kudos to you. So obviously she was happy with what she did. And that's really all that matters for her. Obviously, as, the viewing public, we weren't really feeling it. I personally wasn't feeling it because I would have liked for her to not do the same thing as her dad. I wish the movie didn't have a twist. I also, because this was based off of a book. The book is by A.M. Shine. Because obviously it says writers Ishana Shyamalan and A.M. Shine. A.M. Shine is the writer of the original source material. I feel like I would have liked to maybe see her, write something of her own and not do something that was, developed, or not do an existing material. Maybe she did something existing because she's not comfortable writing herself. I don't know. I don't know her personally, so this is all speculation. But yeah, so maybe she, did something that was already existing because she just wanted to kind of get her feet wet in a feature for the first time and wanted to do something existing. But I feel like to choose something, once again, that had twists in it, that was a choice. And if the original source material doesn't have twists in it and she put twists in it, I feel like that's kind of worse. Because now you're definitely emulating your father. And maybe you want to. Because I've seen interviews where she said she grew up on the sets, of the movies he was making. So that's where she kind of got her experience from. And that's perfectly fine. But also, do you want to be the same replica of someone? Or are you trying to stand on your own? So that's where I kind of felt like this was a missed opportunity for you to step out and do something of your own accord. And it just felt like M. Night Shyamalan 2.0. And that's where I was like, also like was said earlier, the cinematography was not good. It was bad. So let's go to the chat and see what's going on in here. What's being said? Will says she was supposed to direct a French movie called Garbage. Oh, wait, she did that already. Wow. That's messed up. Shots fired from the chat. Will, I thought you were a fan of his. Are you not a fan of the whole family? You're just a fan of his? Okay, that's crazy. You're taking shots. May, she can sing really well. She's the most talented. I think that his daughter, I can't remember the young woman's name, the singer. I think she can sing. I think she's a talented music artist. If you've all seen my review for Trapped, or if you haven't seen my review for Trapped, she did not act. She's not an actress. That could be because those were the words that were given to her by her father. Or that could be because she cannot act. We will not know. But I don't want to find out. As far as I'm concerned, for what I've seen, she unfortunately cannot act. And I think that she should continue to sing. I think she's very talented. She obviously has musicality. And she also can play instruments, which is very rare in the music industry these days. So she obviously has talent. But the acting portion... No. May's asking, Will, aren't you a fan of his? That's what I thought, Will. I thought you were a fan of M. Night Shyamalan. I'm confused why you didn't see the movie. Ab and Evie says, I wasn't happy with what she did. My life matters, my time matters. I agree. Melissa says, since the movie is still fresh in my head, I do think she's better than him. Oh, bless your heart, Melissa. Bless your heart. I think she's better than her father. I just think she played it safe. See, I think because this is her first movie that she has the capacity to definitely be better than her father. But I think that she, like you said, she wanted to play it safe. I don't know why, she made the choice to specifically do something that was already written. The interview that I had watched, I believe she said that like she read the book and she really liked the source material because it was like a dark fairy tale, like, and she kind of gravitated to those types of things. So maybe the story really resonated with her and that's the reason why she wanted to develop it. And once again, because I haven't read the source material, I don't know how faithful her adaptation was to the source material and what she decided to change. But I don't think that this was successful. I do remember reading some reviews of people that had seen both the movie and read the source material, and they were a bit underwhelmed. Let's see if I can find it because I like reading user reviews on IMDb. I'm not a Rotten Tomatoes person. I've never really cared about Rotten Tomatoes, but I do love an IMDb. So I believe there was someone on here that had actually like read it. Oh, wow. It's the first one. Okay. Wow. That was helpful. Okay. So this person gave it a 5 out of 10 and they said mediocre adaptation of a great horror novel. So we're just going to read this one thing here. Oh, this is long. Okay. No, it's not that long. This person here says, I've often thought of this novel since consuming the audiobook in a couple days last year. I've recommended it to a lot of fellow horror readers too. I personally feel that the film adaptation falls incredibly short of what it could have been. The novel is beautifully crafted with suspense and character development, whereas the movie offers 2D characters that are simply there just because. Their faces remain blank the majority of the movie, and their line delivery is flat and almost always as if they're bored talking. Almost like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. In true Shyamalan fashion, yes, it's M. Night's daughter who directed it, but the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Wow, this person is just saying everything that we said in the chat. Okay. The twist is a huge moment. While it does get revealed, it also changes a huge part of the original ending of the book, which makes the overall story even more of a 2D horror twist. The book's ending gave me chills. The movie's ending gave me cliche horror. I will say I was eager to see who would play the character of Madeline, as she is such a force in the book as the most interesting character, as well as the one who has been trapped in the forest the longest. And I'm not going to say her name again, y'all. I'm not going to butcher this woman's name again, especially since, nope, not going to do it. The beautiful woman who played Madeline portrays her beautifully. The overall set design and atmosphere of the film is also done well. I disagree. Which helps, but also makes the movie's poor script and characters feel all the more disappointing at times. While I won't actively encourage not seeing the movie, I do encourage you to check out the book by A.M. Shine. I'm also happy that an author whose work I appreciate getting the attention of Hollywood to have his work made into a different media form. Let's hope if his other works become film or television adaptations that they'll be given the adaptation they deserve. I think that's the only review we need to read of the movie. So for someone that actually did read the book and see the movie, it kind of goes to what we thought, that it was a little bit shallow. So there you go. There you go, everyone. What did we learn? In the chat, we have Will saying that you and M. Night Shyamalan are on hiatus. You really keep saying that, Will. I don't know, man. I feel like you might have given up on your man, so it's kind of messed up. Faye says her singing and musical talents are equal to her acting. Shots fired. I think her singing is definitely better than her acting. Because her acting is... There was no acting. May says... I love that Google says message redacted. That's hilarious. May says Shyamalan mutes all of the characters in his movies, which is crazy considering he's worked with some great actors. Yes, accurate. So, Appanevi says, so the Rue of the Prom is the actual writing. Womp. You want time to, don't you? What? Will, are you okay? Because what is this writing? You want time to, don't you? What? I don't know what you're saying, but we're going to come back to you when you're making sense. So with that being said, I did not really care for the Watchers. I do feel like she could do better in the future, but she would need to take a step away from what her father's doing and kind of do something for herself. I also don't know if she has the capacity to write. And if she adapted the source material in this way, then that kind of means that she might not have the capacity to write, because the review that we looked over, the person said that the source material was a lot better developed and fleshed out, and what ended up being on screen was not that. So I'm not entirely sure that maybe she knows how to adapt other people's work. So yeah, we shall see if she does anything in the future. She doesn't have anything lined up currently, so Will says, you want me to give him up, don't you? Oh, no. Listen, if you support him, okay? Support your lover. Support this man and his whole family. Listen, I was more leaning to being okay with seeing the Watchers than I was with Trap, knowing that Trap was directly from him. As much as I love Josh Hartnett, that was pure M. Night Shyamalan. Whereas like this, I was like, oh, maybe she'll do something. No. Melissa says, if she can't write, then find someone who can. There's so many writers. Girl, yes. Some of them are in the chat. I'm a writer. May is a writer. Will at Quiverful Productions is a writer. Robert is a writer. There are writers here. Fund us. Well, I don't know if I want to be funded by M. Night Shyamalan, but we'll get to that later, because M. Night Shyamalan's doing a twofer on this list today. I'll tell you what. So yeah, what would you all in the chat rate the Watchers? Because I feel like it was just, it's right up there with Apartment 7A. It's just and the Watchers was would I watch either one of these movies again? No. So, what would any of you rate this movie, The Watchers? And would you want to see anything from Ishana Shyamalan again if she decides to not go in the direction of her father? Let's see what the chat is saying. May said Trap was terrible. Yes, it was terrible. Melissa says, I wish Janet was in the chat. Me too. I do wish Janet was in the chat. Janet, where are you? Melissa said, I write. Melissa, you write? Hey, another writer. I see you, girl. Okay. Strive for More says, remember, Sofia Coppola, she was not a good actress, but ended up being a pretty good director. Maybe she'll find her way. That is very true. You are right about that. Sofia Coppola could not act. But she is a really, really good director. But see, I think that's where his other daughter is. Like, she's not an actress, but she found her road, her path. Her path is music. If this daughter, Ishana, wants to be a director, and that's obviously what she wants to do, because she's been gearing up to do features. She's been directing episodes of Servant. She's been directing, her sister's music videos. So obviously she wants to do features. So I think that for her to really step outside of, what this is, she would really need to step outside of her father's shadow. And I hope that she does that. I hope she does something on her own. I also hope that if she can write your own stuff, girl. Write your own stuff. Like, come on. Go ahead. And if you write your own stuff and then you find out that it sucks, well, get help. Get help. I don't know. All right, so Faye said Sofia Coppola is average. Wow, once again, Faye is taking shots in the chat. She gave Apartment 7A a negative review. She said the entire Shyamalan family was just not great, and now she's saying Sofia Coppola is average. Wow, I like Sofia Coppola. I disagree. I think she's above average, but I do agree that it's important to find what you're good at, and she realized that acting was not her foray, so that's important. Let's see. May has given the movie a 3 out of 10. Wow. Okay, so what else are you guys rating this movie? We got a 3 out of 10 for this, so that is below Apartment 7A currently. Apartment 7A has gotten a little bit better. Well, I don't know, because Faye gave Apartment 7A a negative. There was no number associated with that. It was just a negative. So let me know what you guys end up rating it, but if you don't like looking at the darkness and poor CGI and a badly developed script, I would say maybe pass on this. But if you're a fan of M. Night Shyamalan, you will probably like this movie. Actually, you'll probably actually really like the movie. If you're a fan of M. Night Shyamalan, I think you'll definitely enjoy The Watchers. So, wow, Faye has given the movie a negative. Oh, I'm sorry. She says, I'm going to give this a double negative. Wow. Okay. Okay, Faye. All right, so moving on to the next movie. Let me know still what you guys are rating this as we move on to the next movie.